Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Tuesday. First of all, I wanted to say thank you to everybody that commented on yesterday's video with the miners versus miners for the medium cap ones or the medium hash rate ones. You guys provided a lot of great insight as far as a couple of mistakes that I made, so we'll correct those in today's video, and then we'll also take a look at the small miners. So like Luxxfolio, Digihost, and DMG. We'll take a look at those, see which one is possibly the most undervalued one out of the bunch, out of the three. We'll also take a look at Hut 8 provided a news story today that they are buying more miners, so we'll take a look at that. And we'll also take a look at Mawson provided their March production update as well, so we'll take a look at that as well. But first, we'll take a look at the miners and Bitcoin, see how it did today, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty. So, as always, not financial advice, you know the drill here. I'm investing in the following coins and companies. So let's take a look at the miners here. So ANY was actually up today 3.07% to $1.68. Most of the miners were up today. Bitcoin is also up, so that obviously drove everything as well. Argo was up 9.19% to 87 cents. Bit Digital was up 1.86% to $2.74. Bitfarms was up 2.8% to $3.30. Cleanspark was up 2.04% to $9.51. Cores was up 2.39% to $7.72. Digihost was up 2.95% to $3.14. DMG was up 7.3%, which was really good. So they're at 47 cents right now. Hive was up 4.62% to $1.81. Hut 8 was up 4.85% to $4.54. Iris Energy was up just barely 0.18% to $11.20. Obviously, it was up quite a bit yesterday. And Luxxfolio was up 2.76% to 25 cents. Marathon was up 2.87% to $21.50. Mawson was up, Mawson was actually down. So Mawson was the one that was up yesterday, and it obviously fell back down today to kind of where it was before. So it was down 18.71% to $4.04. And Riot was down, up 0.61% to $14.88 on the day. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has now gone above our resistance here. So it's kind of acting like support here on the 40,700 mark. It is at 41,519 right now. We are looking at the daily chart here on it, and it is battling right now with the 20-day moving average, the red line here. It came pretty close to it today. Obviously, we switched over to the new day on it on the chart because we're going with UTC time, I believe. And it's looking pretty good right now. We'll have to see how this plays out going forward, but it's nice to see that we are above our resistance. Hopefully that acts as support, and we can once again continue to go up higher here. But time will tell on that one. We'll have to see. Ethereum, same thing. Ethereum was up today to 3,106 right now. It is also battling with the 20-day moving average here, and went above it, it came back down, and it is also battling with the 50-day moving average, the green bar here, which has been acting as resistance for it here for the last couple of days, and now it may flip over into support. So we'll have to see how this one plays out as well. So we'll see how things go. Let's get into some of the corrections first, and then we'll get into the news stories here, and then we'll get back into the other miners here. So a couple of you have pointed out that the market caps for some of the, especially the Canadian miners, were possibly in Canadian, and you guys are correct. So thank you to the community for that, for pointing that out. I was using Google Finance to get these numbers imported into this sheet here from Google Finance, and the numbers were in Canadian. When I looked on the website for like Hive, Bitfarms, it did say Canadian under the market cap. So what I'm doing now, so if we look at Bitfarms, Bitfarms is 832 million Canadian, and what I've done is convert that over to USD. So I have a currency convert function going on here. We're pulling the data from that number and changing it over to USD. So now it's at 660 million in USD. So now we're actually apples to apples with everybody, instead of some being in Canadian, some being in dollars. So thank you so much for pointing that out. That was great. So I do rely on you guys to correct me when I'm wrong. So thank you very much for that. So if we look at the miner comparison here on the ones that we did yesterday, these were the Bitfarms, Cleanspark, Hive, Argo, Hut 8, Mawson. It didn't really change too much of the numbers. It did change a little bit, but it wasn't to the negative or anything like that. It did obviously change them for the prospects as far as how much they're going to possibly go up, but still I think they're all way undervalued, especially when you look at like the market cap per petahash. So Bitfarms went down a little bit to 219,000. Cleanspark stayed at 170,000. Hive went down to 376 instead of being over 400. Argo came down also a little bit, I believe, 265. Hut 8, 313, and Mawson at 216. So we're still way undervalued from where I think they should be if we're using the 20 multiple on all of these. Obviously, some of these aren't getting it because they're not growing that much. But I would imagine like Bitfarms and Cleanspark should be at a higher multiple because they are growing more than some of these other guys here. So just want to point that out. The other part of it was also Argo. Argo is actually in pounds, British pounds. So that's being converted as well. So then we have Digihost in Canadian, DMG, Canadian, Hut 8 in Canadian. And the other one down here was Luxxfolio. So those are all being converted into USD in my spreadsheets now. So that is corrected. So once again, thanks guys for commenting on that. Truly appreciate that. And let's get into the news stories. If you guys have any questions on any of these things, or if you see anything that's wrong, always point it out to me. I'm very grateful when you guys do that. News stories. Okay, so Hut 8, digital asset mining operations to be 100% self-mined now. So here's what they provided. So today announced that it has entered into an agreement with Tal to conclude its hosting relationship and purchase 960 micro BT Watts miners M31S pluses. Effective May 1st, 2022, the ASIC miners are currently installed and running at the company's mining facility in Medicine Hat on behalf of Tal. So the machines are expected to provide an immediate incremental hash rate of 81 petahash, bringing Hut 8's total hash rate to 2.62 exahash, and that'll be obviously at the beginning of May, which is good. And then once the acquisition is complete, Hut 8's operations at all mining sites will be 100% allocated to self-mining. So it looks like they're not going to be doing any hosting anymore. Now they're going to be just strictly self-mining, which is also good because the profit margins just aren't that great on hosting. And that's it for them. So we'll take a look at them really quick here. Hut 8, I updated their numbers here for May, beginning of May. So based on the information that they provided, currently with the price of where Bitcoin's at, hash rate and everything else, here is that purchase of those miners. So and that is at 31 days for May. So that will bring in an extra almost $600,000 in Canadian for the revenue, which brings them up to about 16.6 million for the month of May. Compare that to the 15.7 million in April, based on what we have right now written down. April obviously could change because they are possibly getting more miners installed, which we don't know until the following month. We'll get the update for that. So that could also increase, which this will obviously increase as well. So just wanted to point that out to you. And they are now at, let me see here. Going all the way back here. So I have them at 2.52 exahash right now. And then if you add the GPUs to it, we're looking at 2.6, somewhere around there, 2.62, possibly in the exahash on that. Okay, so there's Hut. Mawson also provided their update, and we'll get into this really quickly here. So Bitcoin self-mining updates. In March, Mawson produced 170 Bitcoin, which is a 12% increase versus February of 2022. March ended end of month hash rate at approximately 1.35 exahash, a 4% increase versus February of 2022. And then April end of month hash rate expected to be approximately 1.5 exahash, producing approximately 6.6 Bitcoin per day. So they are still going to be obviously installing miners this month, which is good to see that happening. Other interesting tidbit here was expected hash rate growth. So Mawson still expects Bitcoin self-mining to be at approximately 4 exahash by Q3. So I'm guessing that's the end of Q3. And a target of 5.5 exahash online by early Q1 of 2023. So within the next year, they're going to be increasing quite a bit here, it looks like. And pretty good growth going forward. So let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them, and then we'll get into the actual small miners. So Mawson, let's get Mawson up here. So Mawson has provided that they are at, in March, at 1.335, which is where I have them right now. And we installed basically these miners here, the 98 terahash, included 355 of those for the month of March. That got them up to about 8.4 million in revenue, if that is the case. Let me see here. I got them a little bit higher. So I think they maybe were shut down for a couple of days here on some of these. Because if we look at the Bitcoin value on it, the 170 Bitcoin mined came up to be about 700 or 7.7 million in revenue, and that's the end of Bitcoin price at the end of March. So that is an increase of obviously 18 from the prior month, 11%, which is good. So I think we may have to drop this down a little bit to get them to the 7.8, which might be that they were down on a couple of these here for maybe 2 days. Let's just try that, see how that looks. 29, 29, and 29, 29. Oop, I wish that was 299 or 290, 29, 7.8. So that gets us pretty close to what they reported here as far as possibly earning on it. So based on that information, that is obviously going to go into this quarter numbers here. So we have, for this quarter, we're looking at approximately 20.1 million in revenue. And then next quarter, we're looking at possibly 22, but they're still going to be installing more miners, so that's going to go increase as well. So currently at 1.35 exahash, future hash rate is going to be about 3 exahash. They're about 44% operational right now. Their average speed per miner is about 95 terahash, which is pretty good. And then stock price is obviously at 404. I'm guessing this should be closer probably to 11, but we're using a 20 multiple here. I'm going to bring this down to about maybe a 10. Even at a 10, they should be at about $5.84. If we go up a little higher to like 13, 14, they should be about double where they are right now, in my opinion. They're way undervalued, just like a lot of the guys are right now. And that's basically because Bitcoin price has been low, so that's obviously having an impact on it. So market cap is 289 million, shares outstanding is 71.5 million, and that is just basically taking the market cap, dividing it by the stock price, and you're getting the number of shares there. And that's how we're figuring that out. Also, the other part of it was institutions have increased. So I checked the institutions today. So they have now 19 institutions owning shares in it at 2.6 million shares, which is now 3.67% owned. We also got another buy rating from somebody. So now we have 2 buy ratings, but the price target is still pretty much the same. For the high, it's still $17. The average is $14.50, and the low is $12 right now. So nice to see that we get at least another buy rating, and obviously they have a $17. I would have possibly, I'm close to that towards the end of the year when they're actually at like 88 million or somewhere around there. I have them at $18.60 for the end of the year, for the full year basically. If everything stays where it's at, Bitcoin price, hash rate, obviously Bitcoin goes up, that is going to go way up as well. And that's the same case for all the miners here. Okay, I think we covered it all. No BTC HODL, obviously, from them. Haven't seen anything on that. Yeah, that's it. So let me know what you guys think of the numbers for Mawson. Obviously, good growth for them. Here we can see that they were up on the hash rate in February about 201 petahash, a little bit lower growth in March of 35 roughly. And number of miners has obviously increased, 2,060 in February and 355 in March. So we still have a long ways to go from where they want to be at approximately 3 exahash. So they're about halfway there, 44%. So we'll have to see if they provide any information as far as buying more miners like some of the other guys are going to be doing. I'm pretty sure this year, just to grow their hash rate. So we'll see. All right. So now let's take a look at the small miners here on the miner comparison. We'll hide these here, and we'll make it a little bit easier to follow along. Okay, so we got DMG, Digihost, and Luxxfolio. These are the smallest miners I cover right now. They are obviously going to be at, DMG is going to be at 1.5 in the future. That's reported right now that, miners that are basically purchased and in transit or going to be sent over. Digihost is going to be about 1.15 or so. Luxxfolio right now is at 353 petahash, so they're the smallest one out of the bunch here. Look at the market cap. So DMG has a market cap of 80.9 million USD. Digihost has 89.2 million USD, and Luxxfolio has 14 million. Obviously, they're the smallest one, so I can see why they're having a smallest market cap here. Stock price is obviously DMG 47, Digihost is $3.14, and Luxxfolio is at 25. And number of shares out, DMG has the most shares, 172 million. Digihost 28.4, and Luxxfolio at 56.3 million. Current hash rate, 597 for DMG. Digihost is at 1 exahash, and Luxxfolio is at 170 petahash. So operationally wise, DMG is the one that is basically the one that has the most to grow still based on the numbers. So 38% currently installed. So they still have about 62% they need to get installed. Digihost is about almost fully installed, and Luxxfolio is about 50% installed right now. Hash rate average per miner. Luxxfolio has the best ones currently at about 96 terahash per miner on average. Digihost is second, 95, and DMG is at 91, 92 roughly. So if we take the market cap per petahash, which is dividing the market cap by the current hash rate, we're getting it to be $135,000 for DMG per petahash. Digihost is at 89 and Luxxfolio is at 82. And if we multiply that times the future hash rate, we would get a market cap of about 211 million for DMG. Digihost would be about 102 million and Luxxfolio would be about 29. So future share price would be about a dollar based on that, and Digihost would be about $4, Luxxfolio about $1. Upside percentage would be 162, 14%, and 108% on that. And we can see obviously that they aren't growing that much, so that's why they're only getting an upside of 14%. That's why we really need to see miners installing more miners, buying more miners. My estimates are on the 20 price to earnings multiple would be 592 for DMG, which would be almost 1100% uptick on that. And since they are only going to 1.5, but based on their revenue, this is kind of where I would see them at a 20 multiple, but obviously they're not going to get that. I think we'll be lucky if we get a 10 multiple on them. Same thing for Digihost would be about $17.18, and Luxxfolio would be about $3.72. I would almost cut those numbers in half based on the fact that they're just not growing that much. Even I think some of them are even below that. And we can take a look at the numbers here for DMG, Digihost, and Luxxfolio and see what that represents. But obviously, Luxxfolio would be a 1,300% increase from where they are right now. With a market cap of 209, like Digihost would be 488 million. And BTC HODL is pretty small for all these guys here. So DMG has 432, Digihost has 797, and Luxxfolio has 66, which gives them a value of 17.9 million for DMG, 33 million for Digihost, and 2.7 million for Luxxfolio. So market cap percentage-wise, it's basically 22% for DMG of their market cap is BTC HODL. Digihost is 37%, which is really high. And Luxxfolio is 19.6%. So based on the numbers here, I think they're all undervalued, really. The one that might be most undervalued possibly could be DMG. I think they have the most upside potential here, possibly, based on the numbers and where they're going to be. Obviously, Luxxfolio is not growing that much to 353 petahash. I doubt they're going to warrant that kind of a high PE ratio. But let's take a look at them here individually. So DMG right now is at 47 cents. At a 20 price to earnings multiple, we're looking at $2.26. They are now, let's take a look at what kind of multiple they're getting right now. They are getting, well, less than 5. I have it going on to a low of 5, but that would be at 57 cents. So closer to like a price to earnings multiple of 4. And that's why I keep saying future hash rate growth plays a huge role in the price to earnings multiple that we see on these stocks here. So that's DMG. Digihost was the other one. They're at 314. And if we lower that price to earnings multiple, we could go, let's see, how low can we go before 5? So 3, yeah, so less than 5 price to earnings multiple on that one as well. And then finally, Luxxfolio is at 25 cents. We got that at 20. Drop that down to, well, we can get, okay, so they're about a price to earnings multiple of 3. So that just kind of points everything out to you guys. If they start reporting that they're getting a lot more miners installed, or they're going to be buying miners, that is obviously going to change greatly for them, which I think is going to be good for investors, obviously, because that's what we want to see. We want to see growth. And I do think they're going to probably be reporting something. They're going to try to keep up with the other miners and get above at least 2-3 exahash within the next year and a half, I'm guessing. I'm sure they're all going to be having those kind of goals. But yeah, they're all undervalued right now, but it's easy to see why their hash rate isn't that big. But if they do report on anything as far as getting their hash rate up, it's obviously going to be a good thing for the stock price, I think. All right, so let me know what you guys thought of this. Again, thank you so much for commenting on the previous video. Helped me out pointing out some of the errors that I had. Appreciate it greatly. Also, spreadsheet, like always, it's available to my Patreon members. Thank you to my Patreon members for your support. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, spread around the web. Helps me out tremendously. That's all I ask from you guys. And let me know if I made any other mistakes. I'll be more happy to correct them and obviously point them out. I'm not above that. There's a lot of numbers that go into these these sheets, and I can't make a mistake. I'm only human. So thank you again for that. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then,